Hi guys, I was just driving towards town and I managed to get into this area called Danike, and a lot of excitement has hit me. That's why I stopped the car here to check, and I can see a tractor driving right in the middle of the lake, and it's pulling a sled. Somebody is sitting on the sled and the tractor is driving over the lake. I can see a family that is also taking a walk. They are walking on the lake, and the tractor is just going round about a person who is walking with the dog and the sled. The lake is completely, Lake Danike is completely frozen. You can see a dad and a child taking a walk. The entire lake is completely dry. That tractor is cruising, as you can see. I don't know if this camera is getting it pretty clear. I'll be able to check it out during the editing. And look at the family. And what I'm trying to do here is it will be nice to take an evidence. Somebody else is skiing. You can see, if you look straight there, you are going to see somebody is skiing. Somebody's got his skis, and I'll see if I can get a space and have a taste of this. I don't know where this guy is dropped in. I'm sorry, I've left my daughter and wife in the car, but this is pretty interesting. Okay, there across there's a party. I can see, I don't know, the camera can't reach that far. I don't have a high focus camera to really bring it, but there's kind of like a party across the other side. I think the people are congregating there, so they're going to have a fest. Okay, right now this is a floating bridge house, which is normally meant for picnics. We have like one of these in Dalstorp, and it's in the water, it's in the lake. So as I step in, I'm already stepping inside the lake, and that house is built on an island in the lake, and that's the bridge that leads, the one with the tiny lights. It's the bridge that leads to the house. It's like an island house, and you can see people are walking across. So that's an island house, that's the bridge leading to it. And if you can watch me now, I'm already like 2 meters already in. I've gone 3 meters. I've gone like 4 meters already in the lake. As I'm talking, I'm standing right in the middle of the lake. I am literally standing in the middle of the lake, and across there you can see a car that is indicating that's how far I've parked. It's on the main road, and I am in the middle of the lake. I am in the middle of the lake. Look at that tractor pulling a sled. Look at that tractor pulling a sled. Look at that guy skiing. Look at the guy who just passed me here with a child. And there is a congregation where you see that tent. I think that's where they're going to meet. So they're going to have activities. The weight of a tractor is roughly about 1.5 tons, and it's comfortably driving over the lake. Look at my car there. Look at my family. I'm waving at them. I'm in the lake. I'm in the lake. I'm in the lake. The windows are tinted. I don't know whether they're looking at me. Yeah, the one indicating that's where I parked. That's yeah, so this is Danike, and yeah, I just thought of filming this. This is pretty interesting. There's a party there. Look at the dogs. They're enjoying themselves running over the lake. There are portions of the lake that are slightly, you can see there where there is water. Those are not very safe areas to walk into. Those are areas that have not frozen completely, totally, so it can be very dangerous. I think somebody should avoid it. And let me now take a walk back. Let me take a walk back. I can even go to the island house there, but it's a private property. Yeah, that was quite a good experience. I've had a walk in the lake, and now I'm getting back. I went as far as 20 meters into the lake. That was pretty exciting. So this is what happens. The temperature today is actually +1 degree. It's not very, very cold as it was yesterday, -14 and so on. But today is a bit warm. It's +1 degree centigrade. This is a floating house, and in a floating house they normally have a place for barbecue. And you can see the stairs here. These stairs go right into the water, so in order to get into the house you have to swim and then take the stairs up into the house. It's well equipped. You can see it has solar lights, and I appreciate the discipline and the love that we have in Sweden, that such things, nobody comes to vandalize them or do anything bad about them, so they're pretty safe up to next year. And they stay, I can see there genius at work, warning for riders only. These are Harley Davidson motorbike riders. They normally come here. I think this is their contribution, and then they just move. It has a small engine that they normally put here, and it goes right in the middle of the lake, and they have a party right in the middle of the lake. So that's quite an exciting experience this morning. In front of me here is the bridge that it's frozen. It's completely frozen. It's completely frozen, and a lot of grass has grown on it. You can see it. I just cleared it with my... So this is what is normally put onto the water as a pier bridge, linking the land and the water. So that was pretty exciting. So yeah, I'll have to continue with my journey to town. I thought that was an interesting experience, and when I get into the car I just want to get my family's comment on it. Of course they're going to complain, how dare you take such a risk, walk in the middle. Oh, somebody splashed all the snow and salt on me. Yeah, so yeah, that was a good excitement. And as I continue, right there's a party. A congregation is going on right there. Okay. Let me just get into the car and hear these guys, what they have to say. That was exciting. I already had my tour.
Umeona paka wana drive nini?
Tractor on the sled.
Imagine bado kuko sawa, watu wanatembea kwa lakes.
But you see this region where there is this contour.
But they walk across it.
Yeah. But
hii ni juu. But the ice is this thick.
It is very thick. Yeah.
See that region where there's a bridge? That's where you should.
Where?
Where there's a bridge. Where there are trees and plants near the water. In the water. If there's any bus or trees growing there, you're not supposed to walk there. And in fact, you don't have equipment. You should never walk on ice. You should never walk on ice without equipment.
I had my camera. That was the only equipment I had.
It's not even minus degrees.
It's +1. Yeah.
But it has been 2 weeks of very dry. So I think
that's melting. You won't be thinking about 2 weeks. You'll be thinking about dying, because that's what you'll do. You cannot walk
with a child.
Yeah.
He just
Alinifanya nikafeel
he just
irritated.
I mean he
He was just walking
he's
and the child
walking
is
with the guy
following him.
and they didn't have a stick and the
But
child
listen
was
to me.
Mhm.
That guy is doing the wrong thing because when you go on the ice,
Mhm.
you should have, this is really important that when you are doing something wrong, you can also point out someone else who's doing something wrong. It doesn't obsolete. It doesn't.
no, but they seem to know what they're doing
No,
because there's kind of
no.
like a congregation.
No.
Huh? Did you see the guy driving a
If they-
tractor with a
if
slate?
They knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been okay. Let's assume that he's checked the ice. He's supposed to have all the equipment with him on the ice. Doesn't matter how good you are. You don't drive without the steering wheel just because you know how to drive a car. You don't take the steering wheel off while you're on your way.
Okay, of all the people, of all those people whom we saw there, the guy walking with the dog, that was one. The guy walking with his child, leaving actually the child behind to go back and forth.
Yeah.
The guy driving a tractor which weighs 1.5 tons and pulling a child on a sled. And then there was this guy who was skiing, the one who
Skiing.
was Okaring Guido.
Yeah.
So among those people, who was taking the greatest risks?
Because you are standing near a bridge and
You-
walking on your bare feet with no equipment.
Me?
So it's you.
I'm the one who was
I'm
taking
not
the.
telling you from my opinion. I'm
Uh-huh.
telling you what I've been taught
Hmm?
since I was small.
Mm-hmm.
Since we got here, even in doggies, they were telling us. They've been ingraining this in our heads they did it for years. I know what I'm talking about. The rules don't expire just because it's been years. The rules don't expire
Okay, why would my risk be worse than all of them?
because you're standing near a bridge. You are standing near a bridge. The water doesn't
Mhm.
hold the same way near a bridge because there's disruptions in the ice from where they built it.
Uh-huh.
There can be equipment underneath that means that the ice cannot freeze all the way through. It's not even -degrees, it's only 0.
So does it start freezing from the center of the lake or from the edge
It's
of
not
the lake?
about that.
Uh-huh.
The center can be frozen and the edges not, or the edges can be frozen and the center not. Now let's say you only check the edge,
Mm.
then you walk out into the middle and it's melting there. What will you do? If you don't bring your equipment and it's melted. By the way, skis and a big car like a big vehicle like that,
Mm.
surface tension.
Mm.
They are surface. They are. I mean, what's surface tension?
Surface area coverage.
Surface area.
Mm.
The surface area is wider. It's spread over a larger area. So you're not going to sink through as quickly in that vehicle as you are on foot. One person has more risk of falling through than skis because skis have spread out their surface. I am not telling you out of opinion. This is the truth. This is what they teach children. You cannot go onto ice, especially near a risk zone, without equipment. Those people who are going without equipment, I'm sure they've done it a billion times. That doesn't justify the fact that they don't have any equipment with them. I was really worried because there was a point where you were standing right where we can't see you,
Mm.
and I was thinking if you fall through there and we don't hear you, you know how quickly hypothermia happens. You know how fast you can die in ice water. That's not a joke. You can't do that. You have to know what you're doing. You know?
The only risk is if you go deep in, then finding the upper surface because the entire roof will be blocked by ice.
Papa,
Mm-hmm.
you can be fully on the surface,
Mm-hmm.
fully aware of your surroundings.
Mhm.
But it's ice, so you can't drag yourself up, which is why it's recommended to have something like a sweater, a stick, or a lifeline with you so that you can pull people out of the ice. The ice is going to crumble under your hands because you're putting water on it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're going to freeze from your legs and up. That's how you die. Doesn't matter how near you can be under the surface, you can be above the surface. You're still going to die of hypothermia. It happens anyway. It takes
Yeah,
minutes.
actually, the last swim I had before the lake froze, it was so cold. My feet froze.
Asile uliswimuko kwa kina nani?
Mhm.
Yaani swam kwa kina
No,
Zebra.
that one, the one in Holland was reasonable. The one in Dalstorp here was the cold one, very cold. I didn't believe it. It was unbelievably cold. I'd never felt like that in the water before.
When it comes to
But
ice,
I felt it mostly on my feet.
when it comes to ice, it's really a life risk. It's not even a thing about like the injury. It's about life because like 5-10 minutes. 5-10 minutes that's such a long time. But when you're struggling,
But
in
because
ice,
you're panicking and
and no one can
struggling.
hear you, it's not that fun. Because there are people who are confident enough to
Plus
go,
there was no there, if anything happens, those people have gone.
Yeah.
And they won't come back to save
And
you.
you'll be too cold to yell for help or wave your arms. That will freeze.
Yeah. But you got a good picture. Generally, hata ungesimama pale tulikuwa gari imesimama. You'd have gotten everything, by the way. You didn't need to go inside the
That's the most.
But there's a big difference of what image I got in the lake
the lake.
and outside the lake. And I'm not so sure about this camera, whether it has a
That
focus.
long,
Huh?
Trust me. Safety is better than getting the right camera. It really is. I really, you know, there's a part of me that still listens to what the teachers were saying back then. It's been
I mean,
so
that's
long.
important. It's important to ingrain it in your
I
system
really
for the
cannot-
rest of your life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really, they meant it. Because, I mean, that's such a short time. It's shorter than a fire. It's shorter than a house fire. You know how they normally stress you about house fires? Oh, fires spread this fast.
Yeah.
Ice, it's just different. It's much faster. It's much faster.
Me, what surprised me is this man. Maybe I'm a paper bag mzito. You could see the paper bag is heavy because huh?
They are having a kind of like a fest there.
They are
Or a
meeting
party,
there
so
in
they are
a car.
meeting there.
Sinaona yeye amebeba nini. But anaenda tu. Okay, the lake has been frozen for 2 good weeks. So it is really frozen.
That's a long time.
Iko very frozen. Hata ile adult stop. People can still walk. It is ni vile watu adult stop siku hizi wame give up kind of.
That's hilarious.
Akina
But
nani.
is it last year that we had a car sunk there? Or the year before last
That
year?
was some time back. But then today, this time it's frozen. This time hakuna story. You know, it's been minus for 2 weeks continuous. So it's very fatly frozen. Hata kuitina rope itakuwa ngumu. Maybe hii side ingine
No,
by
it
the
takes
road.
it simply takes a day. The sun works.
Alafu unajua cold jamalizana.
The sun works miracles. I mean,
Then remember cold jamalizana. This is today is mild. Tomorrow inaweza freeze hivyo, bado inaendelea kujifanya hivyo.
But let me remind you of something that affects you guys more than me. Because I think this is kind of age determined. But the bystander effect.
the what?
The bystander effect. Like if you're getting hurt or if someone is attacking you or if you're in danger, people are less likely to help if it's a big group of people.
People
Like, people are less likely to help if there are many of
If
them.
you have many of them.
Like if you're in a factory and the machine starts cutting your arm off, people will probably freeze and they won't do anything. It's more likely. It happens all the time, you know, like factory injuries, people falling through ice and everything.
Oh, stakash horses.
I don't say one.
These ones are
Even if you scream for help or anything, people are really, really scared of helping. They try to avoid, you know, it's kind of like a human instinct not to do anything because you might, it's kind of like a fear that the danger will come to you if you try and help them. So it's best to have someone trusted around you and then don't expect people to help you if something happens. Like,
But what you're saying is true because
they're going to run
let's say
like-
you have many friends in us. This is something I've experienced. I've seen, not experienced. I've seen. And then you are in trouble.
Yeah.
All your friends will fall
They're
away.
going to run.
They'll run.
Yeah.
You won't see them near you. Even the people you thought were your friends will no longer.
And then in fact, you
And
can't
then
even blame them because
The person
most of us
who'll
do
come
the
and
same.
help you
Yeah.
is a stranger.
Yeah. And we can't even
Who doesn't
blame them.
even know you well.
We can't even blame them because most of us would do the same.
Run
Many of
away
us
from
wouldn't
somebody
stick
in
around
trouble.
for danger. It's really, really difficult.
When you are really in danger, let's say you fall sick and you're terminally or completely, or you're amputated, unajua una lose friends. If you lose part of your body, do you know how many friends you'll lose?
Oh yeah.
Wale watakuwa na kuangalia from afar.
It's really a thing that if you help someone, if you fail to help them, you feel guilty. Like if I were the one to reach out and try and get someone out of the ice and they die there, what kind of guilt will that put on me? A lot. People don't want to help. They want to send someone who's meant to help, like the police, the firefighter, whatever. They don't want to do it themselves. And even then, they won't even call the police because let's say you're the one who's called, then the police come too late. The person's already been killed. Now you feel bad about that. You know, people will not help if they're when you're with
We have seen, I've seen people.
The natural reaction of human beings is to be cautious over the uncertain. So somebody just doesn't jump
Want to be
into an
there.
uncertain position unless somebody is very sure of what is going on. For example, if you are in a swimming pool, the immediate thought that comes into anybody who can swim, who can rescue you, is that suppose this person holds on to me and we both drown.
We both drown.
Because whoever is being saved is always desperate and holds and can create the misbalance. So somebody has that instinct of calculating,
Or it's fear
do I
of
go
being-
with him
it's
or
fear.
do I save him? And it takes whatever. And as opposed, fire is something else. Fire, unless somebody is a firefighter who is trained,
You cannot go in.
Most people won't go into
most people will not go in at all. And
Because anajua the risk of
yeah,
it.
and it depends on who is there. So there's some people who can, it could be their own child or something. So they will decide,
would
okay,
decide,
yeah,
let it
which
be bad.
whatever.
But then again, psychology goes so deep.
Mhm.
Because let's say it's a mom
Mhm.
and her kid is
In the fire.
The reason why she's going in and the reason why she doesn't stop
Mhm.
is because that's like
She won't be able to
parental
live with
instinct.
an.
It gives you adrenaline. When
Yeah.
you see that your child is in danger, it's different from your friend or your brother or something. I mean, yeah, it's different from your friend or your sibling or your co-worker. A child, that's like an extension of yourself. They really cannot take that.
You'll find,
there was a mom in, I don't know where, but she lifted a car off of her son.
Lifted a whole car.
Yes, lifted a whole car off. There's a video online.
Mhm.
Her son was fixing, I think he was playing, maybe the kid was playing. He was a small kid, he was playing around. And the car like went off this thing and the mom just lifted it off. Sort of that adrenaline.
Was it on a lift jack?
Hey,
Mm.
hey, bare hands, Papa. I've seen the video
Whoa.
times. It's that adrenaline. Well, of course it was a smaller show plane, but it wasn't like a small car.
Mhm.
But a mother, when
the
it
lady
comes to a
who-
mother, you see even elderly women,
Yeah.
when their children who are old
Yep.
people,
Yep.
something happens, nguvu inaishi, you know, you become wild.
There are many cases where children have fallen into what do you call them? Run. Like the ones manholes. And the mom will just reach down and pull the kid out by one arm. I mean, that kind of strength only comes to you when you really, really are taking
For
care
me,
of
what I'm talking about is human beings have this tendency of not being associated with something bad.
Yeah.
Let's say I have close friends, many, and then something happens that you are in a
Changes
bad,
is
a
projected in your
change,
life.
big change happens in your life, in your physical self. You lose most of them. Not one or two, but most of them will eventually run away. They don't want to be associated anymore.
It's very normal for people to file for divorce in case of illness.
Like the lady, the German lady, the German lady I'm working with, is when now I've realized what happened. She got breast cancer and her breast was removed.
Mhm.
That's when she was divorced and thrown out actually. I think she tried to hold on and the guy couldn't anymore come throughout. So vile namwangalianga akiniexplainia, I asked her, are you not going to mammography? You've not gotten the letter? I don't need to go to mammography. I have no breast, it was removed. So I realized, Wanga very tough. I like her. She's my friend now tunaongea. She's very tough. And I realized the person acted during that period.
It says here,
So I think many people can't stand certain things. But then you ask yourself, when these things happen to them, they want sympathy
I'm looking
and
at,
they want. But human beings, this is the nature of human.
I'm looking at a medical source. Actually, I'm looking at two. I'm seeing from a study in 2015 and one from 2022. Divorce risk is higher when the wife is ill.
Yeah, when the wife
It's
is
more
sick,
likely that when wives are sick, then they'll get divorced.
the man walks
But
out.
it just doesn't make sense because
Papa, it does.
It does, it does.
you know,
Psychologically,
it doesn't make sense because human being is like a project, a house under construction. It's human beings are not complete. They grow and they grow and they grow
Changes
and they
happen.
evolve into something. So there is a provision which I know is given in the church when they're doing wedding, And in most modern weddings, they're trying to remove all these kind
may
of
remove.
things. They're trying to remove because they say you are going to love
You're going to-
whatever in health or sickness.
That's the original
Yeah, sickness
original
and health.
vow. Na hiyo original
So-
vow unajua kwa nini inatolewa? Because it was really binding someone.
Yeah.
But the question is, the fact that you are sick does not stop you from being the mother of my children.
Papa,
It's not about
it's
motherhood.
easy. Papa,
No,
let's
we're
wait.
just facing the
Papa
reality.
is saying what he feels.
No,
So
I
just
understand
listen
that.
first.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to say, from a philosophical point of view and from a humanist point of view, the issue is not about, let's say, the love between the couple or the family that they form. The issue is that this kind of, it's the same reason why people don't want to have kids when the child is disabled. It's because they don't want to be responsible for when something happens. You know how Iceland, when they started getting screening tests for children's for a fetus's new chromosomes, and they have nearly entirely removed Down syndrome from that country. Near 100% of pregnancies were terminated when they found out the child had Down syndrome. Almost 100%. Near. Because, and now there's almost nobody in Iceland who has Down syndrome. It's so rare because they had a way of knowing beforehand. There's a stigma around it in the country, and people do not want to be responsible. If your spouse is ill and then something happens to them and they die, you're not going to feel like, oh, it just happened. There's going to be a sense of guilt because you've bound yourself to someone and now they are gone for a reason that's sort of inevitable. Living with someone or having a relationship with someone who you know is going to die prematurely and you're not going to be able to do anything about it, it feels really bad. It's not about pausing the process. It's just people can't take that pressure. It's so much pressure. You would know if you had been like in that kind of stress. It's hard on people. So I'm not saying that you have to agree with their way of thinking, but psychologically it makes total sense. There's a reason behind that kind of
That's not a cop.
choice.
It's reddening chance.
Reddening shell.
There is
talking.
oil. This is all
This is
fire.
fire. But gari zimeanza ku. We've been recording on that.
No,
Oh, it's 2, 3.
3, it's a big thing.
Mpaka unarekodi na collapse so you don't talk.
Can I put on?
Umeongea more.
Look for another one shows up.
We'll have to remove our speech. Kuko has been recording
No,
and
no.
yapping. I'm saying he was taking
Just wait.